Good afternoon. My name is Pamela Green. I am a children's librarian at the Inglewood Public Library, and I'd like to welcome you to our virtual storytelling and magic series. Today we have a wonderful storyteller. She's a musician, she's an educator. I've known her for many, many years. She started telling stories when she was a little girl, and she's still telling. And what we're going to do is keep everybody off of the chat until the very end of the program. Okay, we have a couple questions to ask you at the end. So welcome everyone, and this is Karen Golden.
Hi everybody. I'm going to just take a look at all of your wonderful faces right now, because in a minute we are going to mute all of your videos so that you'll be able to see me on the big screen, okay? So if you want to wave to me, you can do that right now before everybody is muted. And then I will know that you're all here. I see my family, I see some of my students, I see some new friends, I see my daughter, I see my sister. This is so great. So I'll know who's out there in cyberspace listening to my stories today. So are we ready to get started? I think we are, Pam. So first of all, I want to thank the Inglewood Public Library for inviting me to be here today. And actually here is in my backyard. Can you believe it? I'm at the library and at my yard at the same time. It's crazy. But I think we're ready to start our program. Okay? So I'll wait till I see myself in the big screen.
Karen, excuse me, let's remind everybody to turn off their video.
Okay, turn off your video camera, because we'll mute your video and then we'll be able to see me on the bigger screen. It's called spotlighting. Makes me feel famous.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm still seeing people at the top of the screen.
I'm not.
You're not. Okay. Maybe just I am. So if you're not, then I guess we're good to go. So First of all, welcome to my backyard. I'd like to start today by sharing with you a story that maybe will keep you kind of cool because it is a hot day. It's a story that starts with a rainstorm. And I'm going to take out an instrument that I bought when I was in Argentina. It's an indigenous Argentinian instrument called, well, I don't know exactly what it's called, but I call it a thunder maker. And it's made out of a gourd that could actually grow in my backyard. So I'm going to start by bringing up some thunder. And I'm going to bring up some rain. I hope you're feeling a little bit cooler. These were the sounds of my childhood. Growing up in Michigan, thunderstorms were not so much here in Southern California. So there was this little girl, and she really, really wanted to go outside and play in the thunderstorm. And so she said, "Mommy, can I go outside and play in the rain?" Her mother said, "You may not go out and play in the," I bet you know what she said, "in the rain, because you might get wet. And if you get wet, you might get," that's right, sick. Not COVID sick, but maybe a cold. "That's not fair," said the little girl. "I really, 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 really want to go out and play in the rain. It's so hot." Her mommy said, "You may not go out to play in the rain because you might get..." That little girl was not very happy. She stormed up into her bedroom. She closed the door. Ew! She sat on her bed, and then she took out a piece of paper. She said, "Well, I'm going to make myself a book, because that's what I like to do when I'm in my room. I like to read." How many of you like to read? I better see everyone's hand go up. After all, this is a program from the Inglewood Public Library, so you better like to read. The little girl folded herself a book and she started reading, but then she heard the sound of the rain outside, and the rain was tapping on her window, and she really wanted to go out there. And so she looked inside of her book, and then she got an idea. I know what I'm going to do, she said. I'm going to fold my book into something that will keep me dry. I know you're probably sitting there wondering if she's going to make herself a rain coat. Well, she didn't have a big enough piece of paper for that, but she did fold herself a rain, would you like to say it with me? Hat. And she put that rain hat on her head. Can you see my rain hat? There we go. And she went outside. Her mommy didn't see her, and neither did her daddy or her brothers or her sisters. And guess what? It was no ordinary rain hat. It was a magic rain hat, and it kept her completely dry, just like a raincoat. But the rain kept coming down. And the combination of the rain falling and falling and falling made that little girl feel, well, she felt so much cooler. That is until she looked up and she noticed that across the street, the house was on fire. Oh no, she said, I better do something. So she took off that rain hat and she folded the rain hat up just like so. And guess what? At the very end of my show today, I'm going to give you a link so that you can learn how to make all these paper foldings, okay? So she folded and folded, and she made herself a firefighter's hat. She said, oh, let's put it on right here. She said, and now I want to put out that fire. Can you see my little firefighter's hat? Looks like this. She turned on the garden hose, and she started to spray the fire that was across the street, and she put the fire out just like so. I know what you're thinking. She should have called 911. And you know what? You're right. She should have. But this is a story, and you can do almost anything in a story and get away with it. So after she put that fire out, the water from the rain and the water from the hose made the water in the street get higher and higher and higher. And she said, oh, wow, I could really, really do something fun. I could become a pirate. See my pirate's hat? And now the only thing I need is a, say it a little louder so I can hear you, you got it, a boat. So she folded herself a boat, and she stood in that boat, and she started sailing and sailing and sailing. Now, I want to ask you all a question. How many of you would like to go on a big adventure? How many of you are feeling a little stir crazy in your house? How many of you would like to go around the world? Well, then you probably would have enjoyed what that little girl did that day, because she sailed that boat all the way out into the ocean, and it sounded like this. And when she started sailing in the ocean, her taste for adventure just kept growing and growing. And that's when she decided to sail around the whole world. She sailed all the way down the coast of California, all the way down to South America. She went all the way down to the tip of South America and came up, and then she started sailing over to Europe, and then she sailed around Asia, and then she went to Australia. Okay, so she took a few detours along the way, but she sailed around the entire world in her paper boat. And then she started getting kind of hungry because, you know, being in a boat that long can really build up your appetite. And that's when she decided to head toward home. And so she sailed and she sailed and she sailed. And then she noticed the Santa Monica Pier. She noticed the great big Ferris wheel, and she knew she was home. She was very, very excited, and she wasn't watching, and she bashed right into the Ferris wheel. boom, she broke off the back part of her boat. That's okay, she said. She turned around her boat and she just kept sailing and sailing and sailing and sailing. She wasn't watching, and unfortunately, she bashed into the main branch of the Inglewood Public Library. Boom. Oh, boy. Well, she continued sailing and sailing and sailing, and she wasn't watching, and that's when she bashed into a great big tree and broke off the top part of her boat. And then she started sinking, boop, boop, and sinking, boop, boop, and sinking, boop, boop, and sinking, boop, boop. Wait, 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 she said. I know what to do. She was at the bottom of the water. I have read many books. And suddenly, a thought from one of those books popped into her mind. Bing! She unfolded her boat. She put on her life jacket and she sailed, well, rather swam all the way home just in time for supper. And boy, did she have an incredible tale to tell her family about her adventure around the world in the rain. I hope this is keeping you cool. So I've invited a few friends to join me today, and one of them is right over here. Oh, that was such, oh boy, let me fix the sweater here. That was such an amazing story. Thank you. Well, thank you for coming. Oh, thanks for sharing. See my little finger puppet? I can also put a link in the chat. So if you haven't downloaded your finger puppets, you'll be able to do so after my show. And you can tell your own stories using some finger puppets. So I'd like to take out another family of finger puppets here. Oh, they're waiting for me. And I'd like to share a story with you that comes from a book that you can find in the library. And the story is called The Carrot Seed. How many of you have ever read the book by Ruth Strauss? Let's see a show of hands. The book starts with a little boy who is very, very excited to plant a carrot seed. He dug a hole in the ground and he planted the seed, and then he watered it. And he was so excited. He said to his mommy, he said, "Mommy, guess what? I'm going to grow a carrot seed." And then he sang this song, and I'm going to teach it to you. And if you'd like to join me, that would really be fun today. It goes like this. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. I'll plant a seed, I'll grow it. I'll water it, I'll pull the weeds. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. Mommy, I'm going to grow a carrot seed. His mother, whoops, there's his mother over here. His mother said, "No, no, it won't come up. No, no, it won't come up. It won't come up. It won't come up. No, no, it won't come up." And the little boy, he said, "But Mommy, I planted the carrot seed and I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to water it and pull all the weeds." And then his father came along and he said to his father, he said, "Daddy, I've planted a carrot seed." His father said, "No, no, it won't come up. No, no, it won't come up. It won't come up. It won't come up." And the little boy said, "Carrots grow from carrot seeds. I'll plant a seed, I'll grow it. I'll water it, I'll pull the weeds. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. Daddy, I'm going to water it and take good care of it." "It won't come up," said his father. Along came his sister, And he said, I've planted a carrot seed and I'm going to water it and take good care of it. His sister said, nah, it won't come up. Nah, it won't come up. Yes, it will, said the little boy, because carrots grow from carrot seeds. I'll plant a seed, I'll grow it. I'll water it, I'll pull the weeds. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. No, they don't, said his sister. Well, he knew that carrot would grow, and so he watered it, and he pulled the weeds, and he took good care of that carrot seed, and it started to grow, and it grew, 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 and one day he went to the garden and he began to pull and pull and pull, and guess what? He pulled out the biggest carrot anyone had ever seen. And he said to his mommy, I told you it would come up. And she said, you're right. He said to his daddy, I told you it would come up. And his daddy said, you're right. He said to his sister, I told you it would come up. And his sister said, you're right. And together they all sang this song. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. I'll plant a seed, I'll grow it. I'll water it, I'll pull the weeds. Carrots grow from carrot seeds. Now, if you have a carrot at home right now, you can eat it. So, the little girl in my first story, after she came home from her adventure around the world, she really, really wanted a dolly. And one day she said to her mommy, just like she had said to her mommy, can I go outside to play? She said to her mommy, could I have a dolly? And her mommy said, I wish I could get you a dolly, but all the toy stores are closed because of COVID-19. There's no place to get a dolly. And the little girl said, but Mommy, I want a dolly that I can sleep with at night, a dolly that I can hug, a dolly that is soft and cozy. And her mother said, I know you want a dolly, but there's no place to buy a dolly, but I could give you a handkerchief. A handkerchief, said the little girl. What can I do with a handkerchief? Her mommy said, well, it's soft and cozy and you can sleep with it at night. So I'm going to give you a minute right now. If you can run and find a handkerchief, then you can tell the story along with me. So run and find something. A handkerchief about this size is a good size. Or if you have a cloth napkin, you can also use a cloth napkin. So I see everybody running. I'm going to give you another few seconds. Okay, great. I see that you all have come back with your handkerchief. So the little girl, she went to bed that night holding her handkerchief, and she put it under her head, and she fell asleep. And well, before she fell asleep, she started to sing this little song. Dolly and me, Dolly and me. Oh, how I wish there was Dolly and me. Oh, I wish I had a dolly. The very next morning, she put on a headscarf, also known as a babushka, and she went outside, and that's when she remembered that she needed to wear a mask. Why? Because it's important to wear a mask. It helps protect other people in case you're sick and you don't know it. So she took off her headscarf and she made herself a mask just like this. And then she ran around her front yard and she played with her doggie. And when she came home, she said to her mommy, Mommy, guess what? I was wearing my headscarf today, and that's when I remembered that I had forgotten to put on a mask. And so I made my headscarf, well, my handkerchief, into a mask. And her mommy said, "That's so kind of you. And that's a good idea that you figured out how to make your own mask. Can I have a dolly now? I wish I could buy you a dolly, but the stores are closed." The little girl went to sleep that night singing, "Dolly and me, Dolly and me. Oh, how I wish there was Dolly and me." The next morning, she woke up and she put on her mask and she went outside. She was still holding her handkerchief. Actually, she put it on her head this time and wore it. And when she went outside, she noticed not far from her house that there was a huge patch of blackberries. "Everybody in my family loves eating blackberries," she said, "but I don't have anything to put them in. I would like to pick them." Now, these were blackberries that were in a large open field. They didn't belong to anybody because you never want to pick anything that belongs to someone else's garden. But these were blackberries that were just in a big open place, so she figured she could pick them. So she took off her headscarf and she opened it up and she put her blackberries that she picked inside the scarf, just like so, inside her handkerchief, and she carried it home like this to her mommy. And when she got home, she showed her mommy all the blackberries, and her mommy said, "That's so nice of you to pick blackberries for all of us. Can I have a dolly?" "I wish I could get you a dolly." That night, she fell asleep singing, "Dolly and me, Dolly and me. Oh, how I wish there was Dolly and me." The very next day, she put on her headscarf and she went outside. And that's when she noticed that a tiny little birdie had fallen out of its nest. And she looked up and she saw the mommy bird in the nest, and she looked down and she saw the baby bird down below. "I bet I could help that little birdie." So she took off her headscarf and she put the little birdie inside, and she made a kind of trampoline for the little bird, and she went whoop, and the birdie popped up and landed in the nest. That little girl felt so good. She ran home and she said, "Mommy, guess what? I saved a little birdie that had fallen out of its nest. I used my handkerchief, my headscarf, to pop it back into the nest." And her mommy said, "You are so kind. Can I have a dolly?" "I wish I could get you a dolly," said her mommy. That night, she went to sleep singing, "Dolly and me, Dolly and me. Oh, how I wish there was Dolly and me." Now, while she was sleeping, all of the angels that were flying around her bed at night, did you know that every night little angels fly around your head when you're sleeping to bring you good things? Well, those angels, they gathered together, and without her feeling a thing, they grabbed her headscarf from under her head, and the little angels, they started to roll her headscarf just like so. First of all, they rolled one snake like this. Now, this part is a little bit hard for me to show you. I'm going to send you a link at the end of my show today with a YouTube video that I've made of the angels folding, okay? So she folded two snakes just like this. The angels did. And they folded it in half. And then they folded it in half again. And then the angels did something incredible and magical. They folded it again. And when they did, the scarf magically turned into a little dolly. And the angels even made little feet in that little dolly. And when the little girl woke up in the morning, she picked up the handkerchief and she was so surprised to see that the angels had answered her prayers. And she held her little dolly and she sang, "Dolly and me, Dolly and me. I'm so happy with Dolly and me. Mwah! Finally, I have a dolly." So I just remembered for my next story, I've got to take out one more instrument to show you. So I'm going to take it out right here. And some of you may have this little instrument. It's a frog, and it makes this sound. If you have one of these, you can take it out and play along with me. And actually, I know that my family is here today, and my niece comes from Brazil, and this frog also comes from Brazil. Okay, here's the story. Once there was a frog that had a very big mouth. The frog was a big mouth frog. Could everyone make a big mouth with me like this? Can you make a big mouth? Okay. That big mouth frog sang a song, and it goes like this. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. And I eat flies, I eat flies, I eat flies. Delicious. Can you take out your fly? Okay, does everyone have a fly? All right, you ready? Here we go. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. And I eat flies, I eat flies, I eat flies. Great, I think you have it now. Along came Mr. Monkey. And the big mouth frog walked over to Mr. Monkey, or rather jumped over to Mr. Monkey and said, "Hey, Mr. Monkey, I was just wondering, what do you like to eat for your breakfast?" "What I'd like to eat? Well, I like to eat bananas. Do you want to join me? Bananas are so delicious." "Oh, no," said the big mouth frog. "I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. And I eat flies, I eat flies, I eat flies." Delicious. Along came Mrs. Squirrel. "Hey, Mrs. Squirrel, I was just wondering, what do you like to eat for your breakfast?" "Well, I like to eat nuts. Would you like to join me and eat some nuts?" "Oh, no, no, no. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. And I eat flies, I eat flies, I eat flies." Delicious. Along came Mrs. Bird. "Hey, Mrs. Bird, I was just wondering, what do you like to eat for your breakfast?" "I like to eat worms. Would you like to join me?" "Oh, no, 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 no. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog, that boon. I am a big mouth frog. Yeah, ooh. And I eat flies, I eat flies, I eat flies. Ooh, delicious. Along came Mr. Crocodile. Could you take out your hands like this? It's kind of fun being a crocodile. Here we go. And Mr. Crocodile said, hello. And the big mouth frog said, what do you eat for your breakfast? I eat big mouth frogs. I am a small mouth frog at loon. I am a small mouth frog at loon. I am a small mouth frog at loon. It flies, it flies, it flies. Bye-bye. Now, if we were all together in the same space, I would have jumped away and come back. It's always fun. I'm going to check the chat right now. Let's see here. Hey, Angela. Hey, Matthew. Okay, it's fun to see my friends in the chat. Type something in the chat so I know you're here. Otherwise, I feel like I'm just in my backyard with my plants. All right, so I brought today some musical instruments to show you, and a couple of them I've already demonstrated. I didn't tell you about this one. This instrument, my rain, doesn't that make you feel just cool? This instrument comes from Peru, and it's actually made out of the seeds of a tree. I don't know what tree it is, but it's some kind of a seed. I have some other instruments to show you as well. Let's see here. This instrument is an ocarina. It's my smallest ocarina, and it sounds like this. Now, is anyone having a birthday today? You can write in the chat, I'm having a birthday. I'll wait for a second. Is anybody having a birthday today? You know, this happens almost every time I demonstrate this instrument. It's rare that anyone is actually having a birthday today. Okay, nobody wrote in the chat. So is anyone having a birthday this year? This year? Anybody? How about this year? I guess no one is getting older this year. Oh, yes. Oh, good. Oh, good. Yes. Okay. I'm getting some responses. Yeah. People are having birthdays this year. All right. So this is for anyone who's having a birthday this year. Happy birthday. Now, this morning, I got up early to pick fresh fruits and vegetables from my garden. I'm going to show you my garden in a little while, so you'll have a chance to see where I picked this from my cucumber plant. But you know what? I picked this little cucumber from my garden, and it turns out that it is no ordinary cucumber. It's a pickle-o, and it sounds like this. The pickle-o. And finally, I'd like to show you an instrument. For those of you who think your nose is only good for breathing and sniffing and blowing and picking. Although now we're supposed to wear masks all the time because we're not supposed to touch our noses, especially not in public. But if you have a nose, can you please type in the chat and let me know if you have a nose? Because I'm not sure. I can't see all of you. I'm not sure if you have a nose. So as soon as I get a response in the chat saying we have a nose, then I can show you what else your nose is good for. Oh, great. Okay, Pam has a nose. Lori has a nose. Matthew, who knows? Oh, Matthew knows. Okay, if you have a nose, awesome. Then put your finger on your nose. Make sure you have one. Great. Everybody here seems to have a nose. Terrific. So then I can demonstrate for you that your nose can play music. And who knows? Maybe one of you will become a great nose flautist someday. Here we go. Now, if you've been sitting for a long time, this is your opportunity to stand up and do a little dance with me as I demonstrate the nose flute. Here we go. I have to warm up my nose. So I'm going to answer the question that I know is burning on your mind right now. And the question is, can I play your nose flute? And the answer is no, especially not now, because my nose has noseness germs in it. You never want to play someone else's nose flute. Oh, I can see you're wondering another thing, and that is, am I really playing this with my nose? Well, here we go. You tell me. The nose flute. You see, your nose can play music. This is the nose flute. And I'm just going to get a sip of water here. Suddenly got very hot. I had turned off my rainstorm, so it's very warm here. What about a tube of nose? Noses are so versatile. That's true. They are very, very versatile. That's true. Noses are really versatile. That's true. Yes, yes. They have, I have a very little nose. Yeah, you could play a very small nose flute. Yeah, that's true. Okay. So I want to ask a question here. Very important. How many of you like to cook? Anyone? Give me a shout out on Zoom if you like to cook, because I want to share with you a story about what happens sometimes when we make dinner. Oh, great. Okay, Brianna and Anthony, Lori likes to cook. I love to cook. And there are 3 ingredients that are found in many recipes from many different cultures. Those ingredients are potatoes, carrots. Oh yeah, carrots. This happens to be one of the biggest carrots that's ever come out of the ground. It's because the little boy planted it in the carrot seed. And onions. So potatoes, carrots, and onions. My story starts with a family. And it could be your family, could be my family, could be a family from many different locations across the planet. A family who is making dinner with potatoes, carrots, and onions. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to take out your potato and you're going to scrape it. And then you're going to put the scrapings into a bucket. And we're going to go like this. Slops, onion. Well, let's do carrots next. Carrots, slops, and finally onion. Slops. Now, Papa picked up the bucket filled with the slops, the potato, carrot, and onion peelings, and he walked toward the door. He took 3 steps like this, 1, 2, 3. And then when I go like this in the story, you're going to go, nee, because the door was squeaky. He opened the door, nee, and he walked out 1, 2, 3 steps. And then he just heaved the bucket with all the scrapings in it off of his back porch like this. Slosh. I mean, he did that every night. And then he came back into his house and he did something that he did frequently with his family. He started to play some music. And I just need to get it set up here a little bit. Do you play a musical instrument? Well, I happen to love playing music. And this is the song that he played. And if we were live and in person, we would hear everybody clapping. It's hard to do that on Zoom, but you can still clap along like this, okay? Here we go. The next day, Potatoes. Did I hear correctly? Slops, you got it, okay. Onion, slops, carrot, slops. Walk to the door. 1, 2, 3. Open the door. 3 steps outside. 1, 2, 3. Slosh! Only this time, he heard a sound. Stop! He looked around. He didn't see anybody. So he went back into his house and he continued to play. Next day, potato, slops, onion, slop, carrot, slop. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Slosh! Stop! Who said that? Me! Me who? Me! Look down at your feet! He looked down at his feet and there near his feet was a little man about yay tall. And the little man was looking up at him like this saying, "You're not a very good neighbor. Why, every single day you throw your slops on my house. You throw your onions and your potatoes and your carrots. Look at my house." You're right. I didn't even know you were living here. That's because you never bothered to look. I just thought this was an empty field, but it's not. Look, there's a whole village down here. And he looked around and he saw that it was true. There were little houses everywhere and they were all covered with his slops. That's not nice. You know, you and I have many things in common. Really? 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 Yes. You know, you play music and so do I. Really? Really? Yes. Not only that, you play the saxophone and so do I. Really? Really? And the little man went into his house and a few minutes later, he came out with a saxophone. And he put his saxophone up to his lips and he began to play and it sounded like this. Next day, potato, slop, onion, slop, carrot, slop. Wait. Composter bin. I'm going to put my slops into the composter bin. It's a good idea. It's much better than throwing my slops on someone's house because if I put it in the composter, I can make soil. Composter bin. 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Open the door. 3 more steps. 1, 2, 3. Hey, neighbor, are you there? Yes. Oh, thank you so much for not throwing your slops on my house. You know, it's already much cleaner, and I sure had fun playing music with you. Me too. You become a very good neighbor. I like having neighbors, especially now that we're stuck inside. It's so much fun that we can play music together. It sure is. Let me go get my saxophone. Let's jam. And they did. You're such a good neighbor. So are you. And you guys have been such wonderful listeners. Why, I haven't even heard you at all. You've been such a quiet audience. I'm going to do. I am going to take you on a little tour of my backyard. So this is amazing technology. I can zoom in from my phone, and I'm going to show you around my yard. Oh, Matthew said he was hoping the little saxophone was playable. It is indeed. So I'm going to zoom you in, and oh, and you know what? And someone is at my house. I'm in the middle of a show on Zoom. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to figure this. Okay. Okay, I'm trying to figure out this technology. Okay. All right, now I can show you my garden. First of all, ooh, look, there's a frog. So I wanted to show you a little bit about my yard.
Karen, can you unmute yourself?
Unmute. Okay, now can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll show you a little bit around my yard. I'm a very avid gardener. And let's just see if some of my turtles are out today. Ooh, there's one of my turtles in the pond. And we have some tomatoes. And oh, in my story, the little girl picked some blackberries. And here we have some right on the vine. You can see how blackberries grow. And this is where I picked my pickle O this morning. You can see there's a little one growing right here, a baby pickle O. Hopefully it will play some nice music. And here's a composter bin. For those of you who have never composted before, it's a good thing to do. You can see all my composting stuff happening. And I'm going to go back to my computer. And see if any of you have some questions. Okay, I'm back. So, do any of you have any questions? I'd love to see you now.
Take care of that right now, Karen.
Okay, great. Oh, you want to see my dragonfly? You know what? I'm going to go back on Zoom again and show you my dragonfly, okay? I'm going to put my phone back in, okay? Because my dragonfly is here, and that's really important. Okay, Lori?
Yes, and I'm just going to keep everybody up if that's okay.
Yeah. Dragonfly. Okay. There's my dragonfly. Can you all see?
Mhm. It's beautiful. So big.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So does anyone have any questions? I love
Ask
getting,
everybody to unmute themselves.
I'm going to show you my dolly.
oh, you made one.
Didn't quite come out the way I thought, but
Awesome. Well, I'm going to the link now. I'm going to put it in the chat, okay?
Okay.
So here is a link. Here's a link for making the doll. Let's see if I can put that in the chat. Okay, here we go. All right. So that's a link for the doll. And then I'm going to send you a link on how to make all the folding for the paper boat story, okay? All the origami folding. Okay. Did you get that, the origami? Okay, you didn't get the origami boat. Let me get that one.
I can post it on our website too.
Okay, so does anyone want to say anything, or do you have any questions? It's kind of strange to do a show and have no audience.
Remember, if you want to talk, everybody to unmute yourselves.
Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to post it, but for some reason it won't link.
I just wanted to say thanks. It was thoroughly enjoyable. I really enjoyed myself. I'm glad I'm glad I came. This is so much fun because I can still be in my house but enjoy the benefits of the storytelling. So thank you, Inglewood Public Library, for making my afternoon.
Thank you, Ms. Fruity. Thank you so much for
Karen.
coming. Thank you.
And I'll see you at the community storytellers.
Yes.
The ideas for helping me build the program also.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Ms. Fruity. Thanks for coming.
So Karen, hello.
Hi, there's my nephew. There's my nephew from Northern California. It's so great to see you.
Coincidentally, I'm wearing my Brazil shirt today.
Oh,
and
you are?
We saw the frog, and then the kids were like, hey, that's the same frog that we have in Brazil. So my wife is from Brazil, and we go visit there, and we have this pretty much the same frog.
Yes, I think I might have even gotten mine from you, actually.
I can definitely tell you that it is from Brazil.
Yes, well, thank you. Thank you, Stephen. It's so fun having you in my audience.
Yeah, good stories.
Anyone else want to make a comment?
I have a question for people, if they can write in the chat box. How many of you are watching this together? If you can put the number of people that are with you today, that would be great. So we have a feeling for how many people were here.
I'm also sending another link for the video. I don't know why that link comes out as private, but I'm going to try it again. Try this one. Okay, here. Okay, there's another link for the doll, and it should work.
Okay. Any other questions?
Anything else you'd like to say? Are you having fun?
Yes, this was just wonderful, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you. Let's just see. I want to see some of the comments here. Oh, it's difficult making a kid cook. My kids are actually in the audience right now. Do you guys like to cook? Yeah, there's my daughter.
Yes, I love to cook.
Will likes to cook.
There's Will. Will likes to cook. He's got a great garden. What do you grow in your garden, Will?
Carrots, tomatoes, and I forgot. What else?
Peppers, jalapenos.
Ooh,
And tons of other stuff.
nice.
That's great. Does anyone else have a garden?
How far will people watching from? Okay. So we can
I have a question.
Yes.
Can you hear me, Karen? Yeah, you're so good at like shifting to all those character voices. Do you have a particular way you rehearse and develop character voices when you are working on a story? Because I'd like to get better at that.
Who's speaking? Is this Dennis speaking?
Yeah, I'm speaking.
Oh, hi, Dennis. You know, it just takes a lot of practice. I've been doing this for a very long time, and you just have to just stick with it and not be self-conscious of trying new ideas.
Right. Okay.
So it's just about practice more than anything. Wait, someone else would like to say something here. Excuse me. Oh, I'm sorry. Just 1 second. Yeah, it's just about practice. That's all. You just got to practice, and then it gets to be a lot easier.
I can add something to that.
What is that?
It's not just about practice sometimes. She is always around the house doing her voices and songs and stuff. So she really is practicing all the time.
Yeah, my kids complain. They say, stop being in performance mode at the dinner table.
She is always practicing.
Anyone else want to make a comment or ask a question?
I'll need to get help from you with gardening, Karen. If I look at plants, I think I'm going to kill them.
Well, it's just like the little boy and the carrot seed. They just need to be watered and pull the weeds and you should be fine. And then you'll end up with one of these.
That's a huge carrot.
Isn't that amazing?
Is it real?
It is real, yes. I got this delivered in perfect produce box.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big carrot. And I'm just saving it right now for my carrot story.
Very nice.
Can you show us again your pickle O?
Yes, here's my pickle O.
So how long did that take to grow in your garden?
You know, you need really unique seeds in order to get one of these. Actually, my ocarinas, they're one of the oldest musical instruments on the planet, and they come from a variety of different cultures. The clay ocarina that you see here is found in both North and South America, but in other countries, ocarinas are made out of bones or shells or other kinds of materials. So in South America, there's lots of different kinds of ocarinas. I thought it was uniquely North American until I went to South America, and then I thought, oh my gosh, you see ocarinas everywhere. I guess I'll show you this one. I didn't pick from my garden this morning. This one I found swimming in the ocean. This is a big ocarina.
The bossa one.
Yeah.
Can you do your seagull's voice? I love that.
Oh, here we go.
It's so real.
Oh, come on, everyone do it with me now. Here we go. That one just took a lot of practice in the shower. That was where I did that one a lot.
Yeah.
I actually do practice a lot in the shower. My kids are always saying, wait, what are you singing in there?
Great place to work.
Well, I think we need to wrap up a little bit, but Karen, thank you for sharing your stories with us and your garden and your ocarinas and saxophone. Everything was just wonderful.
Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to Zoom with all of you today. I had so much fun at the Inglewood Public Library. Please, everyone, drive safely on the way home, and I hope that you don't get stuck in a lot of traffic. And it's a very warm day, so make sure that if you're in the car for a long time driving, you know, that you bring plenty of water. And I think that's it, right? Have a safe Zoom out.
Yes. And we will be back next week with Michael D. McCarty. And
Awesome.
if you can join us then. The following week, we will have Angela Lloyd. And
Yes.
the next week will be Chaz Ross, who will be playing drums. And the following week will be Izzy Twinsky, who will be our finale of our Storytelling and Magic series. So thank you so much for joining us today. Take care.
Well, thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye, Karen. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for coming.
Bye, Karen.